Take a moment and name the single biggest stressor in your life right now. It could be a mounting financial debt, a frightening medical result, or the exhausting silence of a relationship that's falling apart. When we are in the middle of these crises, our minds play a convincing psychological trick. They whisper that this specific pain is your new permanent reality, that you will always feel this heavy and this stuck. It is like staring at a tree in the dead of winter. The branches are skeletal, the flowers are gone, and the sky is a flat gray. Without the context of the seasons, you would naturally assume the tree is dead and the leaves are never coming back. We make the winter worse by overthinking. This mental loop acts like a finger repeatedly scratching at a fresh wound. Every time the mind revisits the what-ifs, it reopens the cut and prevents the natural process of healing from ever taking hold. We endure far more pain than necessary because we convince ourselves that a temporary season is actually a permanent state. Consider the teacher who holds up a glass of water and asks his students how heavy it is. The answer has nothing to do with the physical weight of the liquid and everything to do with how long the teacher decides to hold it. This graph illustrates the toll of a problem. Held for a minute, the burden is negligible. But as the time increases to an hour or a full day, the line spikes. The weight hasn't changed, but the lack of rest makes the arm feel paralyzed. Resistance creates its own violence. We see this in the man who clings to a log even after reaching shallow water. The very object that saved him in the deep now drags him against the rocks because he refuses to let go. Much of our exhaustion comes from this refusal to put the glass down or release the log. We suffer because we fight against the current of our current reality. Navigating the winter phases of life, those times of loss or failure, requires us to observe how we react to a harsh environment. When placed in boiling water, a hard potato becomes soft and weak. A fragile egg becomes hardened and rigid on the inside. But the coffee beans change the environment itself. They transform the hostile water into something new and fragrant. They use the pressure of the winter to create a different reality entirely. This transformation requires patience, a trait that is often ignored in a world obsessed with speed. Some growth simply cannot be rushed, no matter how much we want to see the results. An impatient farmer who digs up his seeds every morning to check for roots will eventually kill his crop. Success belongs to the farmer who waters the soil and trusts the invisible work happening beneath the surface. The pain of winter is guaranteed to pass. What stays behind is the resilience you were forced to develop and the character you built while the ground was still frozen. Eventually, the seasons shift, and we enter summer, where the finances are stable, the body is healthy, and the family is at peace. The danger of summer is entitlement. When things go well, we assume this comfort is the new baseline, forgetting that the sunshine is just as temporary as the storm. A wise advisor once took a king to a field of flowers and told him to enjoy their scent. Seconds later, a gust of wind stripped the petals away, leaving the field bare. The advisor's point was simple. Joy is precious because it is delicate. It is not something to be clutched, but something to be experienced before the wind changes. This is where gratitude changes the experience. It allows us to savor the fragrance of the flowers while they are still in bloom, acknowledging their value without the shock of entitlement when they eventually fade. Embracing the temporary nature of joy turns ordinary moments into treasures. A simple dinner or a quiet afternoon becomes a source of lasting richness because we know it is a season in motion. Human life is a continuous river where neither the sunshine of summer nor the frost of winter can be frozen in place. This diagram tracks the inevitable momentum of the seasons. We move from hardship to growth and eventually back to success. But the arrows are rigid. There is no reverse. Attempting to move backward to undo a past mistake is like trying to push the river back up the mountain. Anxiety takes hold when we tie our identity to things that the river is designed to carry away: our wealth, our titles, or our external circumstances. If the world outside is constantly shifting, relying on it for stability is a recipe for endless restlessness. To find peace in a world of constant change, you must drop an internal anchor that reaches deeper than the surface current. Imagine a small boat caught in a massive storm. Without a tether, it is at the mercy of every wave. But a boat with a heavy anchor stays steady, regardless of how high the waves crash around it. This anchor is made of your internal values: patience, kindness, and a quiet detachment from outcomes. These are the things that no storm can wash away. Living from this center allows you to meet both success and failure with the same 4 words: this too shall pass. It provides the humility needed for the good times and the strength required for the bad. When you accept that the seasons must change and anchor yourself in what is eternal, you stop merely surviving the river of life. You finally learn how to flow with it.